Hello, my name is Natalie Granda, and today I'm going to share with you my thesis research proposal. Is algae leftover from pistachio wastewater treatment a good biofertilizer? A soil bioreactor analysis. Okay, have you ever wondered what happens to fertilizers after we add them to the soil? Well, many of them stay and do their work and act on plants and provide nutrition, but a lot of it escapes through runoff, through agricultural runoff, and it causes eutrophication in water bodies. And what this means is that the excess nutrients that escape from the fertilizer go into the water. They cause algal blooms, and these blooms create an anoxic environment in the water, which is pretty bad for all the things that live there. So because of this, interest in biofertilizers, slow releasing biofertilizers, has increased recently, especially the use of algae as a biofertilizer, because it would be kind of cool to be able to use the thing that is causing this problem, the algae, as a solution to this problem. But what is a problem that we encounter? The use of algae as biofertilizer is not well studied. There are a couple studies that tackle this issue, but the problem with them is that their methods are kind of buried. They're not very well structured. Some of the methodology is a little bit vague, and a lot of the results are pretty vague. So it's kind of hard to know, is algae as a biofertilizer a good option to replace commercial fertilizers? So that is the gap in knowledge that we want to fill. So for my project, what I want to do is to analyze the soil, gas, and leachate composition from soil that will be placed in an open bioreactor to see how the composition of these elements change over time after the addition of algae leftover from pistachio wastewater treatment, compared to how it would change if we were to add just simple commercial fertilizer. And the way that this will contribute new knowledge is because I want to use a soil bioreactor in order to measure all the things that come out of the soil over time. And I want to do this because soil bioreactors, you can control the environmental conditions of a bioreactor, and it also concentrates microbial activity in one small container, so processes will happen faster, and I'll be able to control my experiment better than past attempts. So I think this would contribute solid, valuable information in this field. So for my main research question, the main question I want to ask is, what kind of changes will be observed in soil composition over time after the addition of algae versus the addition of commercial fertilizers, particularly focusing on the carbon and nitrogen levels in the soil? And out of this main question, two more stem out. Will the algae addition increase nitrogen and carbon concentrations in soil? And if they do increase, how would this increase be compared to the one that we will see in soil after the addition of commercial fertilizer? So our hypothesis will stem out from these two secondary questions, and we will provide a positive, a negative, and a null hypothesis. For my proposed research approach and methods, I want to build an open bioreactor out of PVC in a lab setting where we'll control light, temperature, and precipitation. And the bioreactor, after initially mixing the algae, will not be disturbed to simulate a natural environment. Treatments will be set up with increasing amounts of algae in the soil, and we will observe them over time. We will take samples every 3 days, and we will analyze our samples, the leachate, gas, and soil samples, to detect chemicals in the soil and measure changes in soil composition. So in conclusion, this research project will hopefully help quantify the interactions between soil and algal biomass and the rate of effectiveness of algae as a biofertilizer compared to commercial fertilizers. Using a soil bioreactor will allow me to control variables that are affecting soil and detect all the emissions of soil over time to obtain an accurate picture of the process of mineralization of algae and to see if algae will be a good replacement for commercial fertilizer. And I think this project will help me personally gain skills, data analysis skills, observational skills, attention to detail skills, which would certainly help me be proactive and efficient in my future career.